Hello everyone, my name is Roya and I am doing my biannual Bibliothon wrap-up today. I wanted to get this up earlier, but I had a really bad cold. I still kind of have a really bad cold. At least today I'm feeling better, so I thought I may as well film this now. So anyway, for the biannual Bibliothon, I finished 3 books and um, got partway through another one, ended up DNFing it. So anyway, these are the books that I read. The first book that I finished for the Winter Biannual Bibliothon is City of Dark Magic by Magnus Flight. This book is pretty good. I read it for the challenge of judge a book by its cover, and it's definitely more than just a pretty cover. It's not the world's best book or anything in my opinion, but it is really interesting, and I had a lot of fun reading it. It is about a grad student of music named Sarah who goes to Prague as part of a research thing, and she has to research some stuff about Beethoven. So when she gets there, she finds out that this prince in Prague has a way to effectively travel through time, and basically you just take a drug and basically you can go back in time and see what happened in the past in your location, like where it is you're standing right then. And I actually had kind of an issue with the time travel thing because it got really it didn't really have a lot of limits. Like they could just jump to whatever time they wanted with no actual thing they had to do, nothing they had to control. They could just go like, okay, I want to go to 1803 right now. Okay, boom, I'm there. So it's not, it's really weird and it didn't make a lot of sense. So there were some plot holes in it, I thought, but it was actually pretty entertaining though. But there is also a lot of very, very casual sex in this book. I'm just gonna say that, just in case that kind of thing bothers you. Like, if that kind of thing really bothers you, then you might not want to pick this book up, but if that doesn't bother you, then it won't bother you. I mean, it's not that bad. It's just really, really, like, the most casual sex I've ever seen in a book. It's, like, really weird. But it was also a little bit slow. It took, almost 100 pages to actually get into the plot. I don't know, the first 100 pages were just about her, like, getting offered the position and going to Prague, basically, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. I read The Sword of Shannara. I read this for the challenge of reading a book that has been on my shelf for over a year, and reading a book in my favorite genre. So basically, this book was really, really good for the first 100 pages, and then after that got very, very slow. And the fact that there's very little character depth kind of just like snowballed out of control. And so I kept thinking, like, if we don't know that much about these people, if there's nothing in it to make us care about these characters, why should I care about what's going on anymore? So I ended up DNFing this book, which is really too bad because it's been on my shelf for like over 2 years or something, and I was really hoping I would like it. I had heard so many fantastic things about it, but eh. The next book that I read for the Winter Biannual Bibliothon is Water for Elephants by Sarah Grun, and this is about a man who, it's told mostly in flashback. Every other chapter is the present and every other chapter is a flashback, but it's basically this 90-year-old man in a nursing home, like remembering his life and about how he worked as a vet at a circus and all the crazy shenanigans that were going on in the circus. And so it is really, really a good book. I was so entertained by this pretty much the whole way through. It's really good. I really need to see the movie now because I've never seen the movie, but it definitely had some interesting characters, some interesting, like, an interesting glimpse into the time period and into the industry. It really also made me think about how animals are treated in a circus, especially in like the olden days and whatnot, because there wasn't a whole lot of animal rights in place back then as there is now anyway. So it's just insane how they treated the animals, and they didn't like have any qualms about it because no one had like a big thing about animal rights back then, really. But yeah, so it's a really interesting book. I had a lot of fun reading it. And I think this is hands down the best book I read for this readathon for sure. It was a buddy read with Lauren from Books and Tea and All Things Me, channel link below, and we decided to both read it for the Bibliothon because we just both had challenges that we wanted to use it for when we were originally just going to read it for January. But I think it was a good decision to read it for this readathon. It was a lot of fun. And last but not least, Soundless by Rochelle Mead. This was the group book challenge. It is about a girl named Faye who lives in a village where everyone is deaf. And it's a mining village, and no one can get out of the village because there are avalanches everywhere. So basically, they've all been in the village their whole lives, and now they're starting to lose their sight. Faye actually regains her hearing, and she doesn't know why that happened either, because she seems to be the only one who got her hearing. Um, so then she and her friend slash love interest decide to leave the village and find out what is going on and see if there's some way they can save their village. I was not expecting a lot from this book because I know it got a lot of mixed reviews and a lot of people didn't like it that much. And I wasn't super into it either, but I'm still glad that I read it. I mean, it's not very long. Unfortunately, we didn't get a whole lot of character depth or like world building or anything because it's like a 200 something page book, but it was still really interesting, and there's a lot to it that was not talked about in anyone's review that I saw, because it would have been a spoiler probably. So the challenges that I completed are the group book challenge, a book that has been on my shelf for over a year and my favorite genre, a book that had been recommended to me more than once, judge a book by its cover, and most of these books had over 300 pages, so that's another one of the challenges. The only challenge that I didn't get to at all was the reread a book in your favorite series, or reread your favorite book in a series, and that was kind of my lowest priority anyway, so it's really okay that I didn't get to that one. But anyway, those are the books that I read for the Winter Biannual Bibliothon. If you participated, let me know what you read in the comments, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye!